2019 was supposed to be a turning point for WWE, a year that started with promise, new champions, new stars, and talk of a fresh start. But instead, it became one of the most chaotic, frustrating, and creatively broken years in modern WWE history. Because for every victory the company celebrated, there was 5 disasters waiting right behind it. From disastrous feuds, ruined storylines, and bizarre corporate decisions that made fans question everything, 2019 was a year WWE completely lost control. WrestleMania 35. On paper, it looked historic. The first ever women's main event, Kofi Kingston emotional rise, and the coronation of Seth Rollins as the Beast Slayer. But when showtime came, it was exhausting. The event dragged for over 7 hours, and by the time Becky Lynch pinned Ronda Rousey in the main event, fans were already leaving the stadium. The crowd was dead, the energy was gone. A match that should have felt like history ended up feeling tired. But then there was Kurt Angle, one of the greatest to ever step into a WWE ring. His retirement match should have been legendary. Instead, he was forced to lose to Baron Corbin, a decision that still feels disrespected years later. Seth Rollins was supposed to be the next big face of WWE. He had just slayed Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, the ultimate underdog story. But right after winning the Universal Championship, WWE booked him in a 3-month feud with, you guessed it, Baron Corbin. Fans lost interest almost immediately. It was overexposure at the worst. And instead of building momentum, Rollins' title reign started dying before it even began. Then WWE decided Brock should win Money in the Bank. He wasn't even in the match. He just ran in the end, grabbed the briefcase, and left. No build, no effort, no logic. The guy who worked part-time, barely wrestled, and already had everything was rewarded again. Becky Lynch had become the man, the biggest star in wrestling, but instead of keeping her momentum, WWE threw her in a lifeless feud with Lacey Evans, a performer who had barely wrestled on TV. The feud dragged for months, filled with bad promos and worse finishes. The same company that pushed Becky to the moon suddenly had no idea what to do with her. And then came Hell in a Cell, Seth Rollins versus The Fiend. It should have been epic. Bray Wyatt's terrifying new character versus WWE's top hero. But what fans got was one of the worst matches in modern history. The red lighting, the goofy weapon spots, and a referee stopping the match because Rollins used a sledgehammer. In a no DQ match, the crowd chanted refund, AEW, and booed Rollins out of the arena. It was a night fans completely gave up on WWE storytelling. And then there was Kofi Kingston. After 11 long years of grinding, Kofi finally won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. It was magical. It felt like WWE had finally done something right. And then 6 months later, he lost the title to Brock Lesnar in 6 seconds. No rematch, no storyline, no closure. Just gone. Kofi's dream run ended so Brock could feud with Cain Velasquez in Saudi Arabia. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, WWE partnership with the Saudi government was in full swing in 2019, and those shows gave us some of the most bizarre matches ever booked. Cain Velasquez vs Brock Lesnar, Tyson Fury vs Braun Strowman, and The Undertaker vs Goldberg, a match that nearly turned into a real disaster. Goldberg knocked himself out early, and both men nearly got seriously injured. It was painful to watch, and yet WWE kept returning for more. But just when you thought things couldn't get worse, Goldberg returned again in early 2020, and under 3 minutes, he squashed The Fiend to win the Universal title. Months of storytelling, the most over character in the company, all destroyed for a nostalgia pop. But while WWE was collapsing under its own weight, something new was being born. A company that promised to be everything fan has been begging for, All Elite Wrestling. Founded by Tony Khan and driven by passion, not corporate scripts, AEW debuted in 2019 with a simple mission: to prove that wrestling could still be about wrestlers, not just brands. And for the first time in decades, WWE had real competition again. Fans rallied behind stars like Cody Rhodes, who smashed a throne as a symbol of rebellion, Chris Jericho, who reinvented himself yet again, becoming the first AEW World Champion. Former WWE names Jon Moxley, Pac, and others founded new life under AEW's banner, while independent talents finally got the spotlight they deserved. AEW Rise sent a shockwave through the industry, because for the first time in years, wrestling fans had a choice again. The tag team division was in shambles. No direction, no respect, no real storyline. The wildcard rule made everything confusing. Wrestlers from Raw showing up on SmackDown with no explanation. Roman Reigns was in a never-ending feud with Baron Corbin, complete with dog food segments, chains, and humiliation that felt straight out of a cartoon. And somehow through all of this, Shane McMahon became the show's main character. He was everywhere, on Raw, on SmackDown, winning matches against real wrestlers, and was rumored to be on track for a title run. And just when you thought WWE couldn't fall any lower, WWE 2K20 launched. A game so broken, so glitch-filled, that it became a meme overnight. Wrestlers floated through walls, rings collapsed randomly, and players couldn't even finish matches. It perfectly symbolized WWE 2019, a company that looked shiny on the surface but was falling apart behind the scenes. Even the company's biggest icon were fading away. John Cena, once a face of WWE, only appeared a handful of times in early 2019 before stepping back to focus on Hollywood. With him gone and stars like Roman Reigns constantly sidelined or overexposed, WWE struggled to find his next true megastar. By the end of 2019, the roster was overflowing with talent, yet no one felt larger than life. Every storyline felt recycled, every new champion forgotten within weeks. For a company that once defined the word superstar, it suddenly had no idea how to make one. It was a final insult. The moment fans realized that WWE's biggest opponent wasn't AEW or ratings or the critics, it was themselves.